Now, along with, we've talked about snapshots and history, there's another thing you can do in Lightroom that might seem a little counterintuitive to what you do in Photoshop if you're used to working in there, and it's called creating virtual copies. Whenever you make a copy in Photoshop, let's say you have a 5 megabyte file. If you make a copy, you're doubling the file size. So you can eventually, if you have a lot of layers, you've doubled and doubled and doubled, the file size can get really big. Well, in Lightroom, what you can do is you can come over and you can right click and you can create a virtual copy of an image. And so you just click on that and you've got a virtual copy. Now you could actually make several virtual copies. You can just keep making virtual copies. And the question you ask is, why would you do this? And the reason is because now you can play with each one of these and give yourself different looks and then compare them. And we're going to talk about in just a minute. So what you want to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to make, let's do one more. I lied. Let's make one more after that. Now if you're going to do a lot of those, this can be a little bit tiring. And here's, sometimes you get these little gotchas in Lightroom. If you're doing it that way, it doesn't give you the shortcut. But if you come up here to Photo and you go Create Virtual Copy, it shows you that it's Command apostrophe, or I guess that's apostrophe, yeah. So if I come back here and I just do Command apostrophe, there it's created another virtual copy for me. So that's one I can never remember is a virtual copy one, because it's just kind of random. So you can always go up here and find it, Create Virtual Copy. All right, so I've got 7 of them here, and what I can do is I can take, this hasn't really added anything to my file size. It's just created, in a sense, remember how I said Lightroom layers on top. So what it's going to do is it's got the original, and then it's going to pretend like the original is stretched out over 7, and it's just going to show you what as if you placed different settings on top of it. I know that's a little confusing, but that's what's going on. So I'm going to keep the original. Now in this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this one to black and white. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to set it to black and white, but then I'm also going to come down here and split tone it. Let's bring that over to something like this, and maybe something like that. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to use previous to get to there, but then I'm going to change the hue to a cooler one, and then I'm going to come over here. Let's do let's do something funky just because we can. Let's take the green, do that, and crank up. That's not a lot happening there. Let's go to something that's actually going to have some adjustment to it. Yeah. That was pretty sad. So like I said, I'm going to go to black and white. Color's not my strong point, in case you haven't noticed. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to take, and let's brighten up. Now let's darken that. And even back here, let's take this and darken this up. Oh, it darkened her lips. Yes, that's a good look right there. And then we're going to do this. Let's do the previous, but let's take her lips. And let's raise that back up just a little bit. And now we're going to do effects. We're going to add some grain. And let's make it like that, and a little more vignette to it. And then finally, we're going to take that previous one, but we're going to drop that grain down. And we're going to make sure we sharpen the mess out of this up. It's already sharpened. And yep, let's open up the highlights just a little bit more and the shadows. There we go. Okay. So why would we do this? That's a good question, Pete. I'm glad you asked. Well, now what you can do is you can take all these down here and you can select them all, and you hit in, and what this is called is survey mode. I tell you what, I'm going to move this out of the way. Okay, so what we have here now is we have all the different variations of it. And we haven't really loaded up more files on Lightroom. And now we can go in here and kind of, instead of having to choose our favorite one, it's actually easier a lot of times, and Scott talks about this, is getting rid of the ones we know we don't want. And so I'm going to come in here, that's a little too blue, and I click on that. And what's neat is you get rewarded for making decisions. So now I come in, I kind of like that grungy, but this one's a little weird. So the lips right there, maybe get rid of that one. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of that. And so what's happening is every time you make a decision, it's helping you see them a little bit better. And it's a wonderful way to kind of give yourself a different look at everything going on in there and choose which one you like the best. Don't forget you can hit LL and turn the lights out so you can just see those. You don't even see the film strip and stuff behind it. And then I'm finally gonna go like that. And maybe I'm even gonna pick that one. Now what's happening is you're not getting rid of the virtual copies, you're just deselecting them. So now I can go, yes, I like that one, and maybe I'm going to hit P and flag it as a pick. So now I turn my lights back on, and they're all sitting right there, but now I have this one selected and I can do more with it. And so just realize that you can create that virtual copy, and it's a great way to be able to really test things out. Now what I would probably do is I'd go in here and I'd take this, select all these, and I can just hit delete, 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 delete. I probably could have hit shift delete and gotten rid of all those, but so yeah, you just take those and grab those right there. One of the things that you can see is you've got those two images. Now right now I've just got those two set as 5-star images so I can see them, but if I turn off that filter, you know, they may get separated, and here's the nice thing. If I go over to my grid view G, and you can see that I've got a little curl on the corner of this original file that lets me know that there's a virtual copy of that. And if I'm on this and I want to find the other one, I can just double click and it jumps to the virtual copy of that. So now make sure you give virtual copies a chance, because it's a great way to create a lot of different versions, throw them up on the survey using the shortcut in, and really help you choose which one you like the best. And it's really a great creative tool to use without gunking up your computer.